feel that the 666 mindset and then the erectile dysfunction with regards to the COVID.
That one is a very serious matter.
I am vaccinated and I'm a pro-vaxxer, as I believe the vaccination strategy is the best way for any country to basically manage the pandemic. I also feel that there's just been a lot of misinformation on the internet.
I'm anti-vax because there's a lot of controversy surrounding the vaccinations and the origins of COVID itself. If this vaccine should be mandatory, at least there should be a legal liability where pharmaceutical companies will be able to face some legal charges.
I'm vaccinated. I'm pro-vaccine simply because I believe that the vaccine helps to build immunity as well as prevent a person from contracting the disease. I think people are anti-vaccination because they haven't had the opportunity to have a personal knowledge on the benefits of the vaccine, or simply because they have religious or other cultural views surrounding the vaccine.
I think people don't really know the value of the vaccination. People are filled with a lot of lies, let me put it that way, a lot of theories. It's as a result of misinformation.
I am vaccinated due to a lot of pressure from my mom. I just believe that more information should go out there. But as of the moment, I don't think I have the information that I need. Some people who are pro-vaccine sincerely believe that once everybody is vaccinated, we'll get rid of COVID. But it doesn't entirely take the problem away.
What do you think of how Ghana has handled the pandemic? Personally, when I was in the UK, I believe Ghana has done very well. Now I've been here for a while, I realised that the statistics I'd seen were not really true, because the amount of testing in Ghana is really low. So it's come clear that we don't know actually how many people have had COVID. And even though the deaths are very low as well, I get the impression that we actually have no idea of how many people died of COVID in Ghana.
Personally, I think it was handled very, very well. One of the key areas that were looked at was areas where we had people coming in from outside the country. So the risk of infection of somebody in a rural area is not non-existent, but it's low. Like, there was a lot of focus on an area like Accra, where we have only international airport. Yeah, and I think COVID caught a lot of people by surprise. So there was now like such a worldwide demand. We always had updates on what was happening, and the testing was, I think it was as much as we could.
Things were okay in the beginning. They were doing so well with the testing and all that. Some people even they had to do Rambo style picking. Some people have in their houses and all that. So they were doing well. They were doing so, but now it has reduced. In fact, even the normal Ghanaian is not so scared of COVID. That is the thing.
The cost to fly into Ghana, if you're not a Ghanaian citizen, $150 they charge at the airport, and it's pretty scandalous. A Ghanaian citizen is $50. Even then, for the actual test, I mean, where is that money going? I don't think all of it's going to fight COVID.
That question, I don't think it's above our heads. Where is that money?
Even with testing, doing the PCR test is expensive. Even the normal antigen test is also expensive. I think some labs take 100 Ghana for you to do the normal.
250.
And even some of these things, if you move outside Ghana, it's in pharmacies, you can access them, you can access and then do your normal antigen test and all that. But then, Ghana is not like that, you'd have to pay. So, the normal Ghanaian wouldn't want to go and pay 100 cedis for, because I'm feeling this, I'm having these symptoms, so let me go and pay this.
Take out the neem tree leaves.
I believe that the people that don't want to vaccinate, it's not actually because they don't want to vaccinate, but because they don't know why they should be vaccinated. They still have the normal 666 mentality, the normal I'll die mentality, the normal I won't get erection mentality, that sort of thing.
It's necessary.
Crazy. So I think if we really want to keep this whole COVID or control it to the bare minimum, we would have to get to the message to the rural areas. We have to get the message to the lay Ghanaian, get them to know why they should be vaccinated.
I got it in December. I tried looking online at what was the quarantine protocol. I couldn't find it. So they had all the protocols all about if I caught it and they found it at the airport. But what actually did, if you catch it in Ghana, it was really difficult to find.
Yeah, but there's one thing that you guys did mention. There are a lot of economic consequences as a result of lockdowns. Okay. The only thing I do is events. I've not been working for the past 18 months. So if there could be another alternative, okay.
So was the government helping businesses like yours during this time?
There are some grants and aids, but
Challenge.
So you want to get back to business, right?
Exactly.
So you are anti-vaccine. You see the argument. So you really we all want to get back to our lives, right? Our normal lives, making money and all that. You see, you've got to take the vaccine.
COVID-19 is a money-making scheme. I have mixed reactions and mixed thoughts. Like the top 10 millionaires, they doubled their net worth during the pandemic time. And some industries are pandemic proof. Okay, for instance, insurance business, automobile business. So Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Sputnik V, 2 or VK, I don't know what it is. And all of those profits, all their stocks have doubled. It is healthcare wouldn't say, oh, I'm trying to make money out of it, but certain individual players in the healthcare system would try to make it a money-making scheme. Philanthropists give money, like a lot of money to developing countries. And we know who is going to get in which pocket is going to get into.
Charlie.
I don't know what you're talking about, though, is human greed. It's unfair, but unfortunately, this situations like that create these inequalities.
I believe in the fact that if you give value, you expect to make money.
You say, of course, pharmaceuticals are going to make money, which is true. Data company are going to make money, which is true. But if there is no need, what about if somebody created the need?
So yeah, I'm trying to say that someone somewhere, somewhere.
Not someone, but maybe a group of people. I'm insinuating that maybe we shouldn't rule that out. That there's
it's possible, but then we don't have proofs.
COVID was discovered by end of 2019. That's COVID-19. By end of 2020, we had a vaccine, right? And they didn't even know this disease existed like 2 years ago.
No, they say they've been working on the vaccine for years. It's one of the things that they use to protect the integrity of the vaccine.
Fair enough. But the point is, we don't have a malaria vaccine. Why? Because the people who catch malaria are poor. COVID is a disease which affected the rich countries in much before. So they threw everything at it. You know, if malaria is a disease which will affect Europe and the US, we'll have a vaccine by now. I mean, even me and you, there's more money to cure baldness than to fight malaria.
I think Ghanaians are greedy generally, and it's so sad that it takes certain circumstances like this to bring it out. When the COVID pandemic started, we saw what's it called? Sanitizers, which were sold for 3 cedis, skyrocket to 100 cedis, not even 50, 90, 100 cedis. Some people were harboring these nose masks and face shields, waiting for another lockdown or a spike in the pandemic to increase the prices. And in situations where we are supposed to be each other's keeper, it's just sad that we take advantage of it to hurt others because the COVID is a contagious disease, which means that if you do not help your neighbor curb the disease, there's a likelihood that you're going to also get infected. So my question is, should everyone be vaccinated and why? Okay, so for this, I think each to his own. I think each person should have the opportunity to decide on what type of healthcare system they want and if they want to get vaccinated, regardless of the far-reaching consequences it may have or how detrimental it will be to the person's health.
If we really want to go about our businesses, like what my brother was saying, go about our businesses, go about our works and all that, without fear of getting infected, without fear of having to catch COVID, we have to vaccinate.
What you are talking about is a very potent vaccine, which we don't have just yet. And also, genuinely, if I'm not vaccinated, I shouldn't be a health hazard to you who is vaccinated. So I don't deserve to be ostracized just because I'm not taking the vaccine. But if you are protected, you really don't need me to be vaccinated. to stop the spread.
When you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean you're 100% protected from getting infected, because there's something we call the vaccine breakthrough infection. Okay, the good side of it is that I don't get the severe symptoms that comes with COVID. Okay, but then what of you? You are not vaccinated. Your siblings or your older I mean your mom, your dad aren't also vaccinated. But then you have comorbid conditions like, let's say, hypertension, diabetes, and all that, and you get them infected. There is a high possibility that they will die. Who caused it? You caused it. It gives you some sort of assurance that you wouldn't get the infection again. Do you understand?
I'll take an example of the UK. Right? The first two waves we had, the death rates we had were horrific. Frankly, I remember the worst point, which was January 2021, losing nearly 2,000 people a day. That because vaccination was very, very low. We'd only just got the vaccine. It was disastrous, frankly. Now our death rate is probably a third of that at its worst. While the vaccination rate is high, the death rate has never reached what it used to be. The vaccine isn't just about yourself; it's about making sure society can function.
Exactly.
If like everyone should take it, it should be the ultimate like relief. Yeah, because one thing about the vaccine is that it makes you asymptomatic. It doesn't mean you wouldn't be able to get it, but you would get it. You get it and wouldn't show symptoms.
Some are 97, some come 90, 93, 96.
Yeah, let me not be hypothetical, okay? Like, as in, what if, me, I got it. It's my mom who took care of me. Okay, my mom made sure I was, like, perfectly fine. But I was very particular about, like, quarantine, okay, to isolate.
So they haven't been vaccinated, your parents?
They have been vaccinated.
Okay.
They've been vaccinated, but I have to like make sure I have to do the whole 14 days and take the vitamin C. And I got tested and it was negative, yes.
If you get COVID, okay, and you recover, there may be repercussions years after. Do you understand? So you saying that you are young and you are less likely of dying of COVID or having severe symptoms. What about if you happen to be part of those who have the long-term effects of COVID? Mm-hmm. It could be heart lesions, it could be neurological. And researchers have shown that people have long-term effects, implications of COVID.
Now, so how is the long-term study being done? If it was like 7 years ago, research perhaps like 7 years ago to like throw back, okay, this are
no, but long-term shouldn't be 10 years. Long-term shouldn't be.
All these companies will have legal liability, okay? So no matter how grievous your injuries are, okay,
they are not liable.
They are not liable.
No
matter how toxic, if
they made a vaccine which everyone who got it was having a heart attack, that vaccine's not going to be sold very often.
Even if that be the case, there's no criminal liability.
So that's
there's no legal liability. Yes, at least there should be guarantee. You know, every other pharmaceutical medicine in the market as of now has this legal liability. I could actually sue as a result of getting like having adverse effects or all those kind of things, okay? So even these manufacturing companies, like 3 of them, like if you could research on it, I think it's Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson were sued. It's the same people who have been, it's the same people who have been liable some few times ago, and you are producing this vaccine again. So, and you are saying that I should like walk in there and take them.
Why is it your parents took it?
So to speak about its potency, because when COVID came at first, it hit a lot of health systems by shock. A lot of people didn't know what to do with it. Okay, so I think now we can't put it on vaccine and say that, okay, so since our vaccinations have gone up, people are dying less. I think now we know how to handle COVID a little bit more. Now, when you have COVID, it's not even that scary because we know that you can go to the pharmacy and get azithromycin, you can get your vitamin C, quarantine, all of that. So if you push it and say that, oh, since the vaccinations went up, mortality rates have gone down. I don't think that vaccination is the biggest contributor. All right, so it says, are you vaccinated? Did you feel pressure to get the vaccine?
Well, I'm vaccinated. I did not feel any pressure to get the vaccine, but I think with the way the world is going, yes, a lot of people are being pressured to take the vaccine, even though it's against their will because of the effects or the consequences of not taking it. She may not be able to attend some programs. She may not be able to work because you are supposed to take it, and then it has ripple effects. We more or less become like prisoners in our own home.
But in the UK, for example, they recently dropped the requirement for health professionals to have the vaccine, mainly because they realised they don't really know the numbers who don't. They say even if only 10% want to take it, the health service can't do with 10%, firing 10% of their workforce. There is a societal pressure, that's very obvious, but they realised if they were to really enforce it, it may actually be too much for them to bear.
Actually, one of the things that they used to pressure people is they sell the idea that when you take this, you are safe. But it's not true.
Yes. I think that is where the problem is, because people take it and they still get it.
If I have the vaccine and I contract COVID and I've taken the vaccine, I can still transfer it.
Yes.
You did make a statement that like if all of us should take, maybe probably before like a year or something, we are all going to get it. But it's not true. It's not true entirely. Okay,
it's likely that if you take the vaccine, your immunity will be higher than someone who haven't yet contracted it. Because after contracting it, your body itself builds some immunity. Yeah. So imagine taking the vaccine too.
The other issue is people of your age, they're the ones who go out the most and spread it the most. This is also
because they move around the most.
Yes, exactly. You're least affected in some ways, but you're the most likely to spread it to other people, which is part of the problem.
Have I been vaccinated? No. Have I been pressured to? Yes. Will I ever take the vaccine? Maybe when the gun is pointed to my head.
Hard guy.
What is making you not take it?
Yes.
What's making me not take it? To me, it doesn't mean there are criteria for me of every other medication on the market. Every other medication pass through like rigorous safety tests. Okay, rigorous safety tests before it hits the shelf. But COVID-19 is like the COVID-19 vaccines, or even vaccines in general, is the only exception. On top of that, too, there's no legal liability for them. So there's no like. At least they should keep a side of their bargain. Like, okay, you know what? In case of any adverse reaction, in case of any physical deformity as a result of the vaccine, okay, you could actually sue.
We are in February 2022, and we haven't heard of any case of someone dying as a result of the vaccine. It says the vaccine is the only way society can be safer. So with me, I'll say yes, without a doubt. Absolutely yes. If I keep saying that if we really want to go back to our lives, our normal lives, this nose mask stuff, this social distancing stuff, we would have to take the vaccine.
Even after you have taken the vaccine, you can still contract it. It doesn't really totally absolve you from not contracting it like in the near future. So it's not 100% true. Yes, it's a means to an end.
There's two ways you could do it. Either you use a vaccination strategy, or you go for the no COVID strategy, which China and other countries did, which eventually seems doesn't work, because you can get a situation where you find a few people with COVID, you quarantine them, and then you say, okay, it's okay, but it just keeps coming back. Also, the vaccination strategy is the best way to make COVID manageable.
To be honest, I don't know which other way we could get back to normal. I think there's a little area for herd immunity with unvaccinated people. People who have actually caught the virus or recovered it with their own immune system are less likely to be probably reinfected or stuff. So let's have a look at that, and let's also have a look at treatment methods.
Prevention is better than cure. Now I hope you know that.
Yeah, prevention is better.
So it's rather better you prevent than.
I think on that I agree with Doc, that he says that we can't say we are closing a chapter and saying that we are not going to keep looking for a vaccine. And there will be a time where I believe that it would be natural that you go for the vaccine, because we've seen its potency. We know the fact that this vaccine is able to give you a very, very high percentage of immunity. Or if it is not that, we get to a point where we can't take away something like the common cold. But do you know the common cold kills people? But we know how to manage it. Doc, you're giving us a lot of promises that if we all take the vaccine, we'll all be fine and we'll get rid of this nose mask and things. But you and I know deep in our heart that it is only till the next variant comes and we realize that these batch of vaccines don't cover this.
Then we should also look into treatment methods.
I actually think that it should be a combination of both. We can't use one. We can't say that we are going to use. You said treatment. We should focus on treatment. We can't say we focus on treatment. That is not. It's not the best. We have to find a way to prevent it as well as to treat it. So it's a hand-in-hand thing.
We'll just see how 2022 pans out.
Yeah.
Do you trust the information around COVID and the vaccine? Well, from my part, I'm saying no, because if you check the data available, it's about 10.1% who have been vaccinated. There's a reason for that, because I don't think information has been properly disseminated.
There's been lots of information in the past. Things are getting better, but I would say for Ghana, Little Prince said, yeah, well, I think there's been a lot of disinformation in Ghana, and it's the government's duty to really tackle that properly.
Okay.
Otherwise, the vaccination rate is going to get very high.
Most of these regulatory boards, okay, are actually the people in charge of distribution, like us, and making sure the vaccine is being sold out to the general population. For instance, $500 million of taxpayers' money has been invested into the vaccines. So it's too big to fail, even if there are probably certain side effects which doctors might even admit that it might not be as efficient. No one's probably come to talk about it because a lot of money has been invested into it. So there can be trust. Okay, the trust has just evaporated. I can't trust them.
The information has been widespread. The only information that I think that I have not really gotten is about the vaccine. If you come and put something about COVID-19 vaccine on GTV, I'm not going to watch it. Jasmine will watch it. Very few of us here will look at that content and then be informed by something on that's analog TV. I think we should find creative ways of sharing that same information.
From the point of the Ghana Health Service, I feel like the statistics they bring out isn't really true. For example, when I contracted the COVID, I was told to come back after 2 weeks to the hospital to come and recheck so that they would see if I was negative or something. When I went back, the nurse said, oh, do I still have the symptoms like the cough, the headaches, etc. I said no. Then she said, okay, then there's no need for you to test. So then how would you be able to report that somebody has actually recovered, to put the statistics there for all of us to know that this number of people have recovered, this number of people have it. And also there are a number of people who think they have the COVID, they just use some home remedies, they never go to the hospital. But then I cannot really blame them because they give us what they get from us.
Some of our local radios and some of our local TV stations.
Like exaggerate.
You can't trust some.
But those are the people that people listen to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. On the local radio stations and TV stations, and then they are the people that have the masses. If we actually want to get the information out there, we should allow health professionals, okay, on the various platforms. I mean, if it's 3 platforms, get the health professional that can speak the 3, they should go there and give the information. And they can give what the people have to know.